He didn't want me to come. He's like, Dad, I may get 3-4 reps at practice. I don't want you seeing that. Like, come on, no, I'm not where I need to be. Let me get where I need to be. And it's so funny because this is his first time, man.
Yeah.
Ever. And he's dealing with it like a pro. Like he ain't mad, he ain't bitter. He's like, I got work to do, but I'm gonna put in this work. One thing, they're gonna have to let me play. Preseason gonna come. And when preseason come, watch me work. I'm like, I already know what you're gonna do. I ain't worried about that. I know. But he didn't want me to come.
That's interesting. Remember that Deion went to visit Shiloh at the camp last week, and we wondered when he would go to Cleveland, and there's the explanation for why he hasn't been there so far. What struck you about this?
Look, you can just tell that Shedeur really, Deion says he's dealing with it like a pro, and I believe it, but I'm telling you, that is hard. It is a grind to stand there and watch other people get reps and move from period to period to period, and you're not able to take part. Look, in my experience, at the beginning of training camp, everyone kind of gets worked in to the reps, into the rotations. And then as you get closer to preseason games, get closer to the regular season, they start to pare it down. You start to understand who the coaching staff, who the front office, who ownership are really counting on carrying the load for the rest of the regular season. If he's not getting reps now, as they start getting prepared for games, what are they going to do then? If he's not getting reps now, how is he going to earn more reps later is my point. Are you just going to throw him in the preseason games without him having reps with even the third, fourth team, second team at all? See, those are the things that just concern me this early in training camp. But look, I trust what I know and what Deion has told me and what I have experienced myself about the character of this young man as far from a football perspective. But I can tell you this, standing there and watching other people compete when you believe you're as good as them, look, Dom can tell you, that's the worst thing in the world. It just guts you. It wears on you mentally that why am I not getting in there? Because if you don't get in there, you have no shot.
I'll get to Nick in a minute, but Kmart, I want to come to you first as my reporter, and you know that division and that team so well. Do you have any sense of what the plan is there? Kenny Pickett's been hurt. Flacco getting the first team reps. They've got the 2 rookies. Do you have a sense of their plan?
So before the Pickett hamstring injury, I checked in, and the sense I was given was, the reps were kind of distributed the way we expected. The vets get the majority of the reps, meaning the 2 rookies, not just 1 rookie, 2 rookies, and Dylan Gabriel also with Shedeur kind of having to get in where they fit in. The Pickett of it all is interesting because unfortunately for Kenny Pickett, the less time he's on the field, the less work he gets, and he's somebody who needs work as well. I think the next 2 weeks, the Browns are in Carolina next week, and then they're in Philly right after. I think the next 2 weeks, depending on where Pickett is, I don't want to say it'll go a long way in determining anything, but that's an opportunity for these young guys to kind of show a little bit more. But Louis, to your point, they're not getting a bulk of anything. And that's the troubling thing because they won't be able to be prepared.
Again, the early part of training camp, the first couple of practices, they really want to acclimate everyone. So in my experience, everyone gets at least a little bit of a cut of what's going on so you kind of know what you're supposed to do. Then it starts to taper. If at this point he's saying, look, Dad, I don't want you to come because I'm getting 3-4 reps per practice, I mean, that to me, look, if I really wanted to see what someone had as far as, whether or not they could be a franchise caliber quarterback, early on in training camp, I'd want him in there. I'd want to be giving him more reps than this, at least to the point where he'd say, hey, yeah, you know what? Come watch me. I am getting some reps. I can show you a little bit more of what I'm doing.
So, Nick, should we be reading anything into the fact? I understand it's still early, but to Lewis's point, it felt to me like early would be the time that you would see everybody a little bit. Should we be reading into the fact that Shadour is getting this little work?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is where Shedeur is such a unique draft prospect because he was so good in college and he's so famous, but he's still a 5th-round pick. Like this happens to 5th-round picks sometimes, especially if they're not counting on you to be an impact player this season. I think oftentimes some of these guys are long shots and they want to see what they have. They're planning to put them on practice squad or something like that. None of us expected that for Shedeur, but you do have to calculate in the fact that he's a 5th-round pick. I'm shocked that he's not getting the reps at this point, though. NFL. Like, I was drafted with 2 corners drafted ahead of me in my same draft. Your opportunity will come. It's like a risk and reward situation for him. He's not getting much better right now because he's not getting the reps, but there's a situation where he is going to get plays. He has to be perfect. He has to be perfect in the 5 plays that he gets. He has to be perfect. And that's a bit of a pro and a con in that you only got to study those 4 or 5 plays you're going to get, and you better not mess them up because you're never going to get them again.
All right, we'll get back to this. Yeah. We heard from the owner of the Browns yesterday as well, and some of the things he said really raised my eyebrows.
Allow me to twist this just a little bit, Mr. Chippendales and Doggy. It could be, I mean, I've got 2 train of thoughts. Let me give you the first one. The first one is he could be speaking to the city of Cleveland as if to say, don't blame me for this one. That is the man that gave Deshaun Watson guaranteed $230 million, which right now is going down as arguably the worst trade in NFL history. I mean, the Herschel Walkers of the world with Dallas years ago, and all of Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones shipping them to Minnesota for all assets they got. You know, we got a couple of things that's up there. This is up there. The way that Deshaun Watson has looked in a Cleveland Browns uniform after all that he endured. Clearly, it's a disaster. And they tried to set the new market, but folks weren't going with that with Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, and others. And so it didn't work out that way, Jalen Hurts included. But they tried because they said if Deshaun Watson could get $230 guaranteed, he got that money before Josh Allen got his money. Before Patrick Mahomes got his money. I mean, not Patrick Mahomes, but before Josh Allen got his money, Jalen Hurts got his money, and others. So understand, he's trying to say, it ain't me. Don't look at me for this one. He could be doing that, but here's why it's also a problem. And this is one thing that I will brag on myself about with seriousness. The one thing that I do is work. Now, Adam Schefter and others, these are the ultimate insiders, and I defer to them. They will know, they've forgotten more than I know in terms of their sources, their contacts, whatever. But damn it, I have a few. And I talk to a lot of people in the world of sports, a lot of power brokers, a lot of people that are decision makers and whatever. I heard a lot about what was going on with Shedeur Sanders coming into the draft. And I will contest to you, I will proclaim to you on national television that so much of what happened to Shedeur Sanders at draft day to drop to the 144th pick, a 5th rounder, when initially he was projected to be a top 2 or 3 quarterback taken in the draft, for all of that to happen to him, that was a slight thing. Those were people that were hell-bent on making sure that Deion Sanders didn't get his way. And they went and they punished his son to punish him. Deion knows it, I know it, anybody with sense know it. We've all heard it covering this league. And that had a lot to do with it. It was personal, and it wasn't some collusion that was going on. They didn't have to, because universally they felt, they watched the interviews, they saw the way Deion Sanders was speaking or whatever, and that's what broke his heart. I'm telling you what I know. It broke his heart because he knew there's no way that his son was going to fall to a 5th round if it wasn't for people that was taking shots at him. We understand what's going on here. That's why Haslam was in his car on a Friday talking about, I can't see it happening, because they weren't going to let it happen.
Mad Dog?
First off, who cares what round he's drafted in now? Unitas was cut, went to the Colts, best quarterback ever. Brady was the 5th or a 6th round pick. Who cares? He's one of the greatest quarterbacks. Montana wasn't a 1st round pick. Shedeur Sanders right now has ample opportunity on a team that has no quarterback, that has a great history, that needs a quarterback in a worse way. And if he's good, and if he earns the job, he's going to get the job. All right, so, I mean, they're not going to not give him the job because he was a 5th round pick and Dylan Gabriel's better. If he's better than Dylan Gabriel, and he's better than Pickett, and he's better than Flacco, he will start on a team that is starved. They've been to a Super Bowl. On a team that is starved, on a city that is starved for a winner, that hasn't had a quarterback in a long time. If he plays well, that includes preseason, he's going to get his chances.
Okay, there's 2 things that have to be in place, though, Dog. Okay, one, he has to have opportunity.
He get opportunity.
To do that. Well, okay.
Get opportunity.
His own father said he didn't want him to come to training camp because he doesn't get any reps. Okay? His own father said he doesn't want me to come to training camp because he said, Dad, I'm getting maybe 3 or 4 reps of practice. a practice.
It's a week.
Okay,
in the
so number
training
2.
camp. It's a week in the
Okay,
training
let me tell you something about training camp. In the beginning of training camps is typically when everyone kind of gets indoctrinated to what we do as a system.